Right, fellas, really good job in the Conference League recently. We could arguably be one of the top 24 teams in Europe. Not too sure if that's quite how it works out, but we're going to focus domestically just for a little bit before that quarterfinal. Let's try and make it a four-peat League Cup, okay? Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 45 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode we have a Deildabikar semi-final and hopefully a final off the back of that before we get back into the Conference League quarterfinals tomorrow against Napoli, albeit not really expecting to be winning that, but we'll see how we get on. But if you are looking forward to today's episode where we can try and make it 4 League Cups in a row, then do remember to go on down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we have played just the one game since the last episode against Spartak Moscow in the second qualifying round of the Conference League. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner, and we'll show you guys the highlights of this one immediately. It was that last Deildabikar group game against Keflavik, a game which we needed to win, so we've kind of spoiled the result for you guys there, but we did back up the first team from that Spartak Moscow game, and we did open the scoring just around halftime. Bamba up there to Nygaard. He puts the ball across the face, a goal there for Nicolusi Caviglia. A good strong finish from him to put us 1-0 up. Then, shortly off the back of that though, Keflavik did grab an equaliser, knocking the ball about inside the final third. Berto towards the far post for poor Steinson, and they made it 1-1. In short order. Took us a little while to get over the top of these guys away from home, but eventually we did. Raul Prada driving forward nicely there. Then Patrick Nygaard, really nice first touch there to get that past both the defender and the goalkeeper to put us 2-1 up with about 7 minutes left in the game, and then we absolutely made sure we'll be making the knockouts of this Deildabikar. Nice ball there from Nygaard, 2 assists to go alongside his goal to set up Wale Pedro for another goal for him, and we pick up it in the end. Fairly comfortable 3-1 win, albeit it took us a little while to get the advantage in that game. So what that meant is we did make our way through to the Deildabikar semi-finals, and that is where we pick up today's episode, as I said earlier, looking to win this for the 4th straight season. And looking at the semi-final draw, we are taking on a team from the 1 Deil, the 2nd division in Port, and it's exactly the same on the other side of the draw. Fjolnir, who won the Molkabikar in the Iceland League Cup back in 2023, still down in the 2nd division. They take on last year's runners-up in the Islands Deil, and behind us in Reykjavik, albeit that semi-final has actually been postponed today, so we might actually have an edge going into the final should we make it with that game, hopefully meaning that either Vala or Fjolnir don't quite have the same recovery time as we do. But going into this game, a game that we should at home absolutely be winning, considering that we've picked up recent results against Spartak Moscow and Bate Borisov. If we can't beat a 2nd division Iceland team, not good. But going into this game, a very similar situation to what we had going into the second game of the last episode. Coutinho still recovering from a little bit of a niggle, our new right back, so that means that Carlo is backing up Bamba in this team, and Nygaard still starting with Isidore, just back from injury but not really match fit. And it also means that we are giving a bench appearance to Fredrik Larsen, a recent addition to the squad, 3-star 18-year-old Danish winger. Be interesting to see how he gets on. As you can see, he is actually quite good on either foot, so it's a good bench option for us, considering that he can cover both wings. But otherwise, starting 11-wise, it's a pretty good lineup that we do have. Should be more than capable enough of dealing with a 2nd-tier team. So hopefully we can get through this and show you guys our final off the back of this, probably against Vala Reykjavik, and we'll be back shortly with the action from the Husavik Heroes. And an early highlight for us in this game, we are in the green. Short free kick taken there from Nygaard. Mbiyamba tries to blaze that into the top left corner, goes high and wide. So an interesting early chance for us there, Port in the white and red, and we play out from the back in the second highlight. A couple of early highlights. Mbiyamba nearly opening the scoring for us there in rather unfamiliar circumstances, usually scoring with his head instead of his feet, but now it is poor on the attack. Nice ball in there from Cuervo for Sandeforo, a player who we did have on trial at the club a few seasons back. His header goes over the bar, so a decent early chance for both teams, and it remains 0-all early doors, but we do have another highlight here at the 7-minute mark. Long clearance there from the poor goalkeeper, but we get the ball up to Bjarkason, back to Bonnet. These could be his last few games in this first 11, at least until we get knocked out of the Conference League. But that is a wonderful ball there from Swiderski, and João Pedro is able to chip the goalkeeper, and we do go 1-0 up nice and early in the semi-final. As you would expect, Bonnet shifted the ball there to Nicolosi. Swiderski from the halfway line sees that Pedro is just in behind the defence, and that's a really good finish there, noticing the goalkeeper has gone to ground a little bit early, so a good early finish there from João Pedro. And as you would expect from us here against the second division team, we go 1-0 up early in the Deildabikar semi-final. 18 minutes gone, and we are in possession again, looking to get something going from the back and try and get a cushion lead in this game, which would be nice just in case we do slip up, give us a little bit of a cushion, hopefully, where we can take off some of our more important players later in this game, keep them fresh for the final. Although, as I said before the game, should be a decent gap between when we play the semi-final and when the final happens, considering the other semi-final has been postponed. That should play to our advantage, especially if we're taking on a good team like Valarakovic. There's a really nice ball there for Bjarkason, just as a square it, but in the end he puts it into the top right corner. Thankfully he did, because, well, Pedro was just sitting there with an open net, but in the end it's a really good finish there from Bjarkason. Good switch here from Patrick Nygaard. His form since coming in for Isidore has been superb. Not too sure if Isidore is actually going to get back into this team the way Nygaard's playing. In the end, a good finish there from Bjarkason, and we go 2-0 up, just shy of the 20-minute mark. And up to the 32-minute mark, we are on the attack again, albeit the ball ends up with poor, though it's a really poor clearance there from their goalkeeper, and we are back on the attack. João Pedro back for Bonnet. Bjarkason, good ball here. He smacks it straight at the goalkeeper. Not too sure how much of an idea he actually had about that one, but another good chance created from us there. This time the goalkeeper keeps it out, and it does remain 2-0, 10 minutes shy of half-time. But so far, most of the highlights in our favour, which is good to see, as I said earlier, as you would expect from us against the second division outfit, especially with recent form. There's a really good ball again for João Pedro, this time coming off the uprights. Are starting to waste a few chances, but still in a pretty good position just shy of half-time. 2-0 up in the semi-final. And that is half-time in this Deildabikar semi-final, as you would expect from a team like us these days, winning it fairly comfortably 2-0 at the moment. Hopefully we can extend that scoreline in the second half. Everyone looks to be at pretty good fitness at the moment as well, which is good. We'll probably start taking off some players who are a little bit more injury prone than others throughout the second half at some stage, but hopefully we can just kick on a little bit more, make it a little bit more comfortable, and make our way into the Deildabikar final. 54 minutes gone. The first highlight of the second half is a goal kick to Poor, pumps it deep, but Imbayamba flicks that back to Serafellini, and we look to build out from the back here with our centre-backs and defensive midfielder, a position which Galtason, who we got off Nuts KR, should be filling as soon as we do get out of the Conference League, which could be, after tomorrow's episode, taking on Napoli, a very tough task for us there. But we do still hold possession there, rather fortunately, after a slide tackle, but we are still on the ball. Bjarkason out to Leandro Diaz. What can he do out on the left-hand side? 1-2 for Bjarkason. Nice ball there for Patrick Nygaard, and he gets a goal to go alongside his assist. As I said earlier, he has been superb since making his way into this first 11 after the injury to Wilson Isidore, so that might force my hand in making Wilson Isidore a second choice right winger for this upcoming season, because so far Nygaard has been absolutely superb. Just too much pace for the defender there, gets beyond him, and we go 3-0 up 10 minutes into the second half. And I think we're going to make our first substitution here as well. We'll just make sure that Nicolosi Caviglia is fit for that final. Gavioli can come on for him, but looking pretty comfortable now. 3-0 early in the second half. 59 minutes gone. We have a throw-in deep inside our own half, but hopefully we can create another chance here and really put the foot down in this game. A little bit of aerial ping-pong there briefly, but Bjarkason eventually comes down with possession, plays it back to the defence, and now we look to drive forward yet again. Patrick Nygaard having a good game, a goal and an assist. Unfortunately there, though, gets bullied off the ball just a little bit there, does Nygaard, and it is Axelson here for Poor, who will be looking to get a little bit of respectability back into the scoreline in the remaining half hour. But we should be in a position now to make our way through to the final of the Deildabikar. Try and make it 4 in a row. Borghese there with a decent chance at the near post. Can't quite beat Sarah Fellini, and it does remain 3-0 at the 62-minute mark. And we're going to make a change here. Nygaard having a very good game, but down to a red heart. We will bring young Frederick Larsen on for him, see what he can do out on the right wing. Probably more of a left winger, just a slightly better foot out there, but should still be very capable on the right wing for us in this last half hour, but looking very good. We'll see what the youngster can do for us in his first team appearance as we still hold a 3-0 lead. 67 minutes gone, poor on the attack. They put a ball onto the mixer. Corbo heads it away and Bjarkason looks to get something going here on the counter-attack. Well, Pedro just inside the box puts a goal across here for Frederick Larsen. What can he do? Gavioli just outside the box. Bamba, we just hold things up here inside the final third. Larsen lets one rip. Oh, what a debut goal that is from Frederick Larsen. His first appearance in the first 11. He just curves that beautifully into the bottom left corner. And there's another good backup wing option that we do have. Going to be very interesting to see which one of our wingers gets game time this season, because we have a couple of very good options based on that debut goal there from Frederick Larsen. That's a really nice one. And we go 4-0 up with about 20 minutes left. And shortly off the back of that fourth goal, we're going to make our last substitutions. Swiderski down to a red heart. In terms of bench options, not as many as we usually would like. So I think what we're going to do here is bring Goodness on, our backup striker, on for Swiderski, seeing as he can apparently play in the midfield. We'll see how that works out, but that's our last substitution in a very good position here. 4-0 up in the semi-final. 74 minutes gone and we have a free kick, trying to make it 5-0 late in this game, but it's been a pretty good performance from us so far. Just the one chance that we've been shown from Paul, but apart from that, it's been total control from us in this game, albeit, as I've said a few times, what you would expect from a team like ours now, especially against second division opposition, although we do lose the ball there and it is poor trying to get something here on the counter attack. Cuervo makes his way down the right hand side, and now it's Borges just starting to cut in field. Can we close him down? We can't. That is a actually really good goal, that one from Carlos Borges. That matches the Larsen one from earlier, and they do get a goal back in this game with 15 minutes to go. We are still in a very strong position, but a little bit of individual brilliance there from Carlos Borges. A little bit of help from the upright. Bonnet couldn't quite close him down, and they do get the scoreline to 4-1 inside the last 15 minutes. And we do have a late highlight in this game. It is a throw-in to us inside the final third of our opposition, but we will be making our way through to the final of the Deildabikar. I presume more than likely that is going to be against Reykjavik, but we'll come back with that straight off the back of this game. It's a great chance for Pedro, puts it wide. He's missed a couple of good chances in the last few games, has Yale Pedro, but we're still getting the job done, so no harm in that at the moment. We have a corner shortly off the back of that as we're getting right up before the final whistle in this game. Nice slide tackle to win the ball back for us there, and Bonnet just holds things up. Gavioli, can we strike once again before full time in this game? It's a really good effort that from long range from Yale Pedro, comes crashing off the upright and the back of the poor goalkeeper. That is how the game finishes. Could have potentially got a few more goals in that game, but in the end, a very good performance for the most part, and we pick up a 4-1 win and get a chance to defend our title in the League Cup and try and win it for the 4th straight season. We should be able to put out exactly the same lineup for that final. We might have a little bit more reinforcement on the bench if we are able to recover from the injuries that have been suffered recently with both Isidore and Coutinho. They could both be back for that final, making their way onto the bench, but a very good performance from us, and we'll come back shortly and play that final and see who it will be against, either Fjolnir or last year's runners-up in Reykjavik. And we do have TV coverage for this final. On screen is our team. We've actually been forced into a change. Nygaard is away on international duty, and Larsen is going to start for us in that position. Otherwise, a very similar lineup to what took place in the semi-final. We are taking on Reykjavik. They got past Fjolnir after extra time in their semi-final. The little advantage that we might have had through their game being postponed, that's kind of being countered because the first time this final was supposed to be played, the Husavik was flooded, so that kind of didn't work out. It actually probably helped us because there was an international break that was already happening when that final was supposed to take place, and because of that, we've actually got a little bit of a stronger squad for this rescheduled final, so that probably works in our favour. in terms of the personnel available, even though it probably has also helped out Valor in terms of fitness. But so far, been a pretty quiet game as we approach the 20-minute mark, locked up at 0-0. And the 33-minute mark is when the first highlight is going to be shown in this game. Not many shots from either team so far. We're slightly edging things, but ideally in a home game would be being a little bit more dominant in this one so far. But the first highlight looks like it is going to be in our favour as we knock it about in the midfield. Bamba trying to get this going out to Frederick Larsson, who got that impressive debut goal in that semi-final against Poor off the bench. Hopefully he can do similar for us here, replacing Nygaard, who is on international duty with the Norway under-23s. Good ball there for Larsson this time, though. Good save from Quito in goal there for Valor. And it remains 0-0, just shy of half-time. And that is half-time in this final. It's been pretty dull, truth be told. Not many stats to look at all. About 3 shots to 1. We had the best chance, obviously, but we'll give the boys a little bit of a rev up. No changes at the moment. 45 minutes left to go to try and make it 4 League Cups in a row. Okay, up to about the 57-minute mark in this game, and it's time for us to make a substitution. There's a few players out there who are struggling, but I think we'll take off Leandro Diaz for Raul Prada. Will also up the tempo a little bit as well to try and get something going in this game, because at the moment it's a pretty dull affair, just over a half hour left, and it remains 0-0. And just before we can make that substitution, there is a highlight here. Valor Reykjavik with some poor stuff at the back. The ball deflects and falls to Pedro Bjarkason. Great chance, and it hits the crossbar, rolls out for a goal kick. That would have been a very opportunist type goal for us there, but it does remain 0-0 at the hour mark. And up to the 65-minute mark now, time for us to make our second substitution. Bamba is on a 6.4 rating and a yellow heart. Still a few players out there not quite on ratings they would like, but Ian Carlo can come on for Bamba. Second substitution used, 25 minutes to try and break this deadlock. 69 minutes gone, we have another highlight here, hopefully. It's a nice one for us. Good slide tackle there from Larsson to get the ball to well. Pedro tries to put that top left corner just high, and with 20 minutes left, it's still locked up at 0-0. And with 9 minutes to go, it's time for us to make our last substitution. There's a few options here, but I think we'll take off Bjarkason on a 6.4. Wilson Isidore can come on for him, give him a little bit of game time, and try and get him back to full fitness. Of course, this game could still go to extra time. We'll swap him with Larsson just to make sure they're on their preferred foot on either wing, but only 9 minutes left of regular time, and we're still locked up here at 0-0. 85 minutes gone late in this game, and we do have a throw-in around the halfway mark. Hopefully we can pinch a late one in this game, because so far Valor Reykjavik have only got 1 shot off and none on target. We have been peppering their goal a little bit more. There's a lovely ball for Nicolusi Caviglia, first time finish, and that could be the goal that makes it 4 League Cups in a row. We're going to slow the tempo down off the back of that, just start time wasting a little bit, be more disciplined as well. But that is a big late goal for us. We'll also slow down the goalkeeper distribution, but what a goal that is from Nicolusi Caviglia, the club captain, and it is off a Larsson assist. So that is very nice to see. He's looked quite good in his first couple of appearances here for the first team. Be interesting to see how much game time we can actually give him now with both Nygaard and Isidore still at the club. We have a lot of wing depth here at Volsungur these days, but that is a potentially massive goal late in this game. We start to get closer to injury time. We are now in injury time, and there is a late highlight here. Hopefully it's another one in our favour after grabbing a lead in this game late. But so far, Valor Reykjavik only with the 1 shot in the game, as I said before, and it wasn't on target. So if we can just hold the ball here nicely, we should be able to hold on to this 1-0 lead. There's a great chance here for Larsson, but he blasts it high and wide. A couple of good chances like that so far in this game, just not quite hitting the target as much as we potentially should be. But we are over injury time in this game, and for the 4th season in a row, we win the League Cup, a competition the board do not care about in the slightest. And to be fair, during the group stages, we looked a little bit dicey in this one, with us focusing more on the Conference League knockouts this season. But we had a little bit of a gap in between the second knockout round and the quarterfinal coming up in tomorrow's episode, which allowed the first team to get back into business in this competition, and they bring it home with 3 straight wins. That one a little bit closer than we would have liked, even though it was against a good team in Valor Reykjavik, the team that were runners up to us in the league last season, pushed us quite close in that league last season, but that's another good start domestically for us in this 5th season of this save, and hopefully that bodes well going into the upcoming league season and for the rest of Europe for both this season and the upcoming next season, which is only now a couple of months away. But a very dominant performance. Volsungur barely firing a shot, none on target. So in the end, hard to argue we didn't deserve that win, even if it was only by 1-0. And we'll come back shortly and have a look at the inbox off the back of that 4th League Cup in a row. And back in the inbox, we are having picked up the League Cup here in Iceland, as you can see there, for the 4th straight season. The last team who did in fact win the League Cup were Volsungur, so nice to continue that little run that we have got in that competition. We pick up a very, very small amount of money compared to what we're dealing with in Europe these days, but everyone seems to be pretty happy with us. Íþróttafélagið picking up man of the match for that good first time finish late, a few payouts for that competition, which actually mean we don't actually make that much money off it, paying out £12.25 thousand after making 17.5 thousand, but we win it for the 4th season in a row. A nice way to start the domestic season here in Iceland. But that will do it for today's episode. A little bit of a filler before we get back into Conference League action in tomorrow's episode. Just an update on what I'm expecting to happen for the rest of this week in terms of the series. I am anticipating that tomorrow we are probably going to get knocked out. So what I think is going to happen is tomorrow we will play Napoli. If we beat those guys, then great, we can keep on going with the Conference League. But if we get knocked out, as I anticipate, don't think we're quite as strong as Napoli in the Save University. I think we'll come back at some stage in June, potentially a rematch with Volsungur, and just do a bit of a European update, coefficient update, once the European season finishes as well. And off the back of that, I'm hoping to get into the Champions League qualifiers fairly quickly, just because it feels like this season that we're having at the moment here has lasted a little bit longer than most in the past, albeit that is, of course, because we did go into the European knockouts. But ideally, we'll not do too many domestic episodes in this upcoming season. Just keep you guys updated on that in between the games that we do show you guys through highlights, and we can get into the Champions League qualifiers if we do get knocked out tomorrow, back on Thursday to kick off the next European season. So ideally, not going to be too long a gap before we get back into the European games once we do get knocked out of the Conference League in this 2024-25 European season. So that's what I'm anticipating is going to happen for the rest of this upcoming week on the channel. We should be, by the end of the week, hopefully a few rounds deep in Champions League qualifying, or of course we might have dropped down a couple of rungs by then, hopefully not, but ideally still in Champions League qualifying and getting into that for the next European season by the end of the week. But if you did enjoy today's episode, picking up the League Cup for the 4th season in a row here at Volsungur, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. As I said, tomorrow we'll take on Napoli. My hopes aren't too high for that one, but if we get past those guys, I think we've actually got a good chance of lifting the Conference League trophy potentially. So it's a big game coming up in tomorrow's episode across 2 legs. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.